हरिओम।
हरिओम हरिओम हरिओम। भजन।
शरक क्षीराब्धिसयना नारायणा श्रीलक्ष्मीरमणा नारायणा क्षीराब्धिसयना नारायणा श्रीलक्ष्मीरमणा नारायणा नारायण हरिनारायण नारायण हरिनारायण नरहरिरूपा नारायण हरिरूपा नारायण वैकुण्ठवासा नारायण वैदेहिरमणा नारायण वैकुण्ठवासा नारायण वैदेहिरमणा नारायण 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 नटजन परिपाल नारायण नारायण हरिनारायण नटजन परिपाल नारायण क्षीराब्धिसयना नारायण श्रीलक्ष्मीरमणा नारायण श्रीलक्ष्मीरमणा नारायण। हरि ओम।
One more. 5 minutes. One more.
गुरुवायूर्पुर श्री हरि कृष्ण नारायण गोपाल गुरुवायूर्पुर श्री हरि कृष्ण नारायण गोपाल नारायण माधव मुरली नारायण गोपाल नारायण गोपाल श्री हरि नारायण गोपाल नारायण गोपाल श्री हरि नारायण गोपाल मोहन मुरली धारी मुरारी नारायण गोपाल मोहन मुरली धारी मुरारी नारायण
Internet.
गोवर्धन गिरिधारी मुरारी नारायण गोपाल गुरुवायूर्पुर श्री हरि कृष्ण नारायण गोपाल गुरुवायूर्पुर श्री हरि कृष्ण नारायण गोपाल मुकुंद माधव मुरलीधारी नारायण श्री हरि नारायण गोपाल श्री हरि नारायण गोपाल। हरि ओम।
You want to make an adjustment? Internet is on and off.
It's saying it's unstable, is it? Saying it's unstable. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it.
Amma, can you sing a little once more so that we can?
Gopal. Is it audible now? Guruvayurpura Shri Hari Krishna Narayana Gopal. You're on mute, I think.
Now we are through.
Yeah. Yes, Shardama.
One more song, Uncle?
Yeah, yes.
Sure, Uncle. ചിലങ്ക കെട്ടിയോടി ഓടി വായു എന്റെ തമര കണ്ണ ആടിയാടി വായു ചിലങ്ക കെട്ടിയോടി ഓടി വായു എന്റെ തമര കണ്ണ ആടിയാടി വായു നിന്റെ പിഞ്ചു പാദം തേടി തേടി ഞങ്ങൾ നിന്റെ ദിവ്യനാമം പാടി പാടി വന്നു നിന്റെ പിഞ്ചു പാദം തേടി തേടി ഞങ്ങൾ നിന്റെ ദിവ്യനാമം പാടി പാടി വന്നു ചിലങ്ക കെട്ടിയോടി വായു എന്റെ തമര കണ്ണ ആടിയാടി വായു ചിലങ്ക കെട്ടിയോടി വായു എന്റെ തമര കണ്ണ ആടിയാടി വായു ദേവകി നന്ദന രാധാ ജീവന കേശവ ഹരേ മാധവ പൂതന മർദന പാപ വിനാശന കേശവ ഹരേ മാധവ ഗോകുല ബാലനെ ഓടിവാര്യോ ഗോപാല ബാലനെ ആടിവാര്യോ ഗോകുല ബാലനെ ഓടിവാര്യോ ഗോപാല ബാലനെ ആടിവാര്യോ ചിലങ്ക കെട്ടി ഓടി വാര്യോ എന്റെ തമര കണ്ണ ആടിയാടി വാര്യോ എന്റെ തമര കണ്ണ ആടിയാടി വാര്യോ എന്റെ തമര കണ്ണ ആടിയാടി വാര്യോ പ്രിയു.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we start the class. Sahana Bhanavtu Sahabhiyam Karavavahe Ijas Vedavadi Amastama Vidvitavahe Shanti Shanti Hari Om Sri Hari Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Gurave Vasudeva Sutam Devam Tam Sada Nurabhandam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Vinmayam Devam Sadguru Brahma Vishwaram Dadram Karneli Sunayama Deva Dadram Pashye Makshavidyajatra Tirera Ingai Sustuvagam Tanubihi Vishema Deva Hitam Yadayu Swasti na Indro Dhasgava Swasti no Pusha Vishwaveda Swasti na Stakshyo Arishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspati Dadatu Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om There are a few texts. Oh, sorry, Amma. You chant the 5.
अस्तभेदमनपास्तलक्षणम् निस्तरङ्गजलराशिनिश्चलम् नित्यमुक्तमविभक्तमूर्ति यद् ब्रह्मतत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि एकमेव सदनेककारणम् कारणान्तरनिरास्य कारणम् कार्यकारणविलक्षणं स्वयं ब्रह्मतत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि निर्विकल्पकमनल्पमक्षरम् यत्क्षराक्षरविलक्षणं परम् नित्यमव्ययसुखं निरञ्जनम् ब्रह्मतत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यद्विभाति सदनेकथा भ्रमात् नामरूपगुणविक्रियात्मना हेमवत् स्वयमविक्रियं सदा ब्रह्मतत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यच्चकास्त्यनपरं परात्परम् प्रत्यगेकरसम् आत्मलक्षणम् सत्यचित्सुखमनन्तमव्ययम् ब्रह्मतत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि ब्रह्मतत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि.
Okay. With some message. See,
No, that is it here.
if there is any problem for the online people to listen, please send a message. Okay. It's absolutely necessary for us to be convinced. It's necessary for us to be convinced that the majority are evolving at different stages. The highly evolved and totally evolved people are always few in number. Therefore, you should not be discouraged by the thoughts given to us by the Guru Parampara at the highest level. Is not common. They will not be common. So you should have that. You should have that conviction, because what happens when you are trying to compare, when you are trying to see with others the various schools that are taught, you feel disheartened. Because you have come a long way up. What applies to a normal man doesn't apply to you. So when you are walking your path, you should have the confidence that I am under the care of my Guru, under the care of God. They won't mislead me. let me continue walking. Let me continue. This faith should be 100% there. Otherwise, difficult Vedanta. Why this introduction today? Because we are now dealing with a text which, even for advanced Vedantins, is too difficult to understand, especially the particular portion we are doing. The particular section we are doing is very difficult even for Vedantins to understand. That is why Sri Shankara has slightly modified. In fact, all enlightened people know the ultimate end. But to suit each student, they give it with a different stress, with a different approach. No point in talking to LKG student the scientific factors which a PhD has to deal with. You have to talk to him in his own language. So I said, the evolved and highly evolved and the really evolved people are few. The others, what happens? You can't ignore them. At each of their stage, you have to give. That is how different schools of thoughts have come by the enlightened people. They're all not wrong. Not that they're telling a lie, but they are different steps. They are different steps. Till this clarity is there, you won't get confidence. If you don't get confidence, Vedanta doesn't give the expected results. Vedanta, after a particular time, is a completely isolated path for a seeker. He cannot have 10 people to walk along with him. It's totally isolated. So that is why, especially in Kathopanishad, it often mentions this wisdom is got by Dhira. Dhira, simple translation is intellect. Dhira, by the wise. But the implied meaning of Dhira is a brave one. Dhi, intellect, Ra, convinced. One who is brave because of his convictions. One who is brave because of his conviction. Only he can walk. You think, why I don't need it? You have no choice. Nobody has a choice. And any discipline, when you take it up, you enjoy it. Like even fasting. When you have to fast because you don't get food, it's painful. Because the mind itself worries you. So all vratas are also like that. So this spiritual path is also like that. You decide to walk alone. Have the faith in the Master's words. You will discover very soon. What is Sri Gaudapada trying to say? This is not Sri Gaudapada alone. This has been Yoga Vasishta style also. Ashtavakra Gita. Yoga Vasishta, Ashtavakra Gita, and this book. Another book also came to my mind. I just forgot. There are a few words who completely deny the creation itself. Sri Shankara also denies, but he says the creation is an appearance. Because you are not seeing the truth. See the difference between Shankara and Gaudapada. Sri Shankara says creation is an appearance on truth because you don't see the truth. Sri Gaudapada says the appearance itself is real. There is no creation. The appearance itself is real because Bhagavan in him has all the potential to manifest in different ways. He does it. He does it. He enjoys it. You can't complain for his enjoyment. Why should I suffer? Where are you? He alone is you. He alone is you. There is no you at all. So to recognize this, he alone is me, is the subject matter of Mahavakyas, the ultimate of Vedanta. He alone is me. Therefore, neither he is the creator nor I am the created. He plays different roles, and in him, to play these different roles, there is a particular power in him and a lot of potencies. The potencies are different names and forms, different qualities. And the capacity to conceal himself appear to be many. All these are in him. And that he plays. And while he does it, you, his dream product, his dream product, is a reflection of himself in a name and a form. This reflected you think you are real. You are different from him. You are real, you are different from him. And therefore you and I suffer. To understand, I am not different from him. He alone is playing the various roles. He's coming out of this myth of a misery. Even a misery is myth. Even the misery is a myth. So Sri Gaudapada took the hidden essence in Mandukya, the Pranava, wherein there is no creation at all. Avuma are expressions of the one silence alone. There is no creation. So he took that and tried to elaborate on that. That is what is Karika. He has dealt initially with the myth of the world, with the one truth, Advaita, and then answered a few schools like Sankhya, Mimamsa, Vaiseshika, etc. Then he himself raised a few questions and answered that also. Now this portion, what we are dealing, he is trying to say, because there are two main schools which give importance to mind. One is Sri Shankara himself. You do not see the truth. Therefore, the mind projects it. Projects when you don't see, non-apprehension, there is a misapprehension. The mind projects duality, which is not untrue. How can Shankara be untrue? Or how can he differ from Gaudapada? He can neither be untrue nor differ from Gaudapada. Then how do you accept both? When you don't see, the mind projects the duality. The mind itself is a myth. The projection itself is a myth. That is the answer to reconcile. Sri Shankara says, when you don't see the rope, you see the snake. Sri Gaudapada says, when you don't see the rope in the snake, when you don't see the rope in the snake, you assume the snake to be real. There's a small difference. All these differences you can only clear when you start doing manana. Any amount of lectures cannot help, number one. Number two, this is all too much for me. To leave them and escape doesn't solve the problem. You have to go through that. And if it's not very difficult, if you're not going to exercise yourself over contemplation, those ideas you will not experience in yourself. If you want something very easy, you will have temporary relief, satisfaction, but you won't get that complete experience of that beauty. So you have to accept it. You have to go through the process. You have to analyze and realize the truth, what they have said. Is it necessary for all that? Yes, because the dimension of an ignorant man and an enlightened man, any amount of words cannot describe. If you want that status, you have to go through this. Otherwise, you will blow hot, blow cold. 1 minute joy. The joy is no joy. 1 minute you solve a particular problem, so relief. The very solution brings another problem. It's not a real joy also. It's a relief. Like fever, take Dolo 650, relief. It's not a cure. If there is something more serious than a symptomatic fever, you have to go to your doctor, do the blood test. Mere Dolo 650 won't help. Understand? So also, you have to go to the root cause of this problem, and then you were told the problem itself is a confusion. Because you feel you are the body, and after that, one misunderstanding, everything else is a misunderstanding. The very foundation is a misunderstanding that you are the body. After that, everything else comes. So this has to be clear. How can it be clear when I am seeing myself to be different from him, different from her, different from him? So much difference is there, transaction is there. We're all going to Siddhabari on March, right? We have done a great blunder in trying to motivate Hitesh, you come with us. And we told him, since we are going by flight, you alone cannot come by train, you join us. And now we put him into trouble. He has to manage 42,000 because fares, you understand, very expensive, which is beyond his budget. But we are responsible for motivating him. Right? So like this. In all our endeavors, in all our transactional these things, there are continuous confusions, continuous conflicts. Continuous conflict. Just before coming here, I was seriously involved with my brother discussing a legal problem. At that time, I had some difference of opinion with the servant who served me snacks. I have never so far told her impatiently. This time I said, don't give me that, give me this. There's nothing wrong. But the way in which I said was little impatient. You understand? Little impatient. These things you cannot stop. You cannot avoid in transactional life. And if you think it's real, then there is never a permanent relief. You have to rise above all these. You have to understand these are all natural play of vasanas from me and from the other. They are all monitored, guided by somebody else. It's part of it. It's part of the process, part of the progress. Your own faults, your own faults and faults, they are all part of the process. You have to accept that. You have to accept that. Otherwise, there is no end because there is no perfect work in the world. In the world, there is no perfect work. So every word will have some problem. Every word that you speak will have some problem. Where are you going to find peace? Unless you rise above that. So to rising above that is the ultimate truth, wherein the entire duality and reality, according to Gaudapada, is not a myth. According to Gaudapada, it's all you only. It's all, there are no differences. There are no differences. How can I accept that? In your dream, your friend, your enemy, all are you only, both. If you can accept that, why you can't accept this? Your friend is also you. Your enemy is also you. Now, this is the main thing we are doing. So I will now finish this and go to the text. This is the main thing. Now he is at this stage where he is saying the mind itself is illusory. Because two schools, I said, one is Kshanika Vijnanavada, one who says the world are flashes of the mind. Another is Sri Shankara or other schools of thoughts, where it says Mano Drishyamidam Vaitam. All are seen by the mind because of the non-apprehension of the reality, Avarana Vikshepa, Ajnana Avarana Vikshepa. So it is the mind that projects. That's one school. So, having dealt with all of those schools, now Gaudapada, last these two also is saying there is no mind at all. It's a myth. It's a myth. Mind is a myth. And if you say the world is a projection of the mind, the world is a myth because mind itself is a myth. World is a myth because mind is a myth. How mind can be made? He says, this comes in a very simple, clear way in Bhagavatam as the Hamsa Gita. Same thing has been dealt there as Hamsa Gita, Uddhava asking Bhagavan. The Uddhava asks, mind gets attached to objects. Mind gets attached to objects. Objects produce the mind. Because what is mind? All perceptions coordinated. I see a laddu. Form, smell, touch gives me the idea it's laddu. It's tasty. I like it. Different facets are coordinated. that coordinator is the ego, is the mind. Is the ego, is the mind. Otherwise, I see, you do not, you know it is laddu form, but you do not know its taste, you do not know its smell. Then you cannot say this taste and smell comes from laddu, because you are only seeing the form. You should be able to coordinate that laddu is tasty, that laddu smells nice. There is a coordination between the eye, the ear, and the tongue. There should be a coordinator. That coordinator is the ego, is the mind. That coordinator is the ego, is the mind. So now, if you accept that, objects produce stimuli, thoughts, and that is mind. And mind projects the objects. Mind projects the objects, therefore objects are not real. It's a projection of the mind. I'm going very slow because very difficult topic, but you cannot escape saying it's too difficult, I don't need it. I am going so slow that you can understand, right? Objects are supposed to be projected by the mind. Therefore, objects cannot be real. And these objects produce thoughts and become the mind. The unreal objects producing a mind, how the mind can be real? Mind produces the unreal object. The unreal object produces the mind. How the mind can be real? Both cannot be real. Then what are both? Both are expressions of the one reality. Logical. Experience. Experience. Your mind produced the friend and enemy in the dream. The friend and enemy make up your mind. Because you label even in the dream friend and enemy. You have labeled them. He is my friend, he is my enemy. That is the mind, that is the ego, dream mind. And the friend and enemy was projected by the mind. It's not difficult to understand. In dream, both are unreal. So what are they? Both are the projections of the consciousness who is sleeping. He projects both the friend, the enemy, and the mind. He projects the mind because friend and enemy is the mind. The man who is sleeping has one mind. That one mind becomes many. That one mind becomes many. So the many is the mind. Because the many is an illusion, mind is also an illusion. Because the many have been produced by the mind. In dream, it's not difficult to accept the many, the differences are an illusion. And they are all the mind. Therefore, the mind, the friend, the enemy, the objects of the dream, they are all unreal. They are all unreal. Right? So, if you accept this, the highest difficult way to understand creation is the Chanika Vijnanavadis and the Vivartavada. They are also answered. Samsagita says this. Mind produces the objects, objects produce the mind. So therefore, they both have to be unreal. Because the objects produced are unreal. If the objects produced are unreal, the mind produced by the objects have to be unreal. An unreal mind producing the unreal world, in response producing again another unreal mind. Because mind produces the objects which are unreal. And it is these unreal objects which produces the mind. How can it be real? So both are unreal. So therefore, what is this word? This world as it is nothing but God. There's nothing here to reject, nothing here to hug. This is called non-resistance. This is called acceptance. This is called surrender. There is nothing to reject. There is nothing to hug. Ashtavakra Gita beautifully says this. Nothing to hug. Na grupnati. Na munchiti. He doesn't take anything. Grupnati. Na munchiti. Nor he leaves. There's nothing to hug. Nothing to leave. It's all myself. It's all myself. Then how much sorrow? Sorrow are all interpretations of your mind. I gave you last week 2 examples. Labor pains is pain, but you distribute sweets. And you go on drinking without control, saying it's enjoyment. And that enjoys you. And you fall sick and die. So these are all your interpretations. The very joys that you quote are the wrappers of the hidden sorrows. Dukkha yonaya. Dukkha yonaya. So unless you lose value to complete duality and the manifest world as illusory, you will never have peace. You will never have peace. There's no shortcut. You can see from the newspapers, you can see from the media, all the time the topmost people are always fighting with somebody or other because it's survival. Is there somebody who is universally accepted? Not only kings, sannyasis are also not universally accepted. And all the time they are trying to justify their existence. Kings, sannyasis, business people, what happens in your house? Continuous struggle to try to establish yourself, to prove yourself. Where is peace? All the peace that you get are some from escape routes. Are from some escape routes. How? You see, the whole thing is real. He gives an example of the Uduvati. Alata, Diviti. Diviti is also Alata, a firebrand. You can go on making whatever forms you want, square, rectangular, triangle, all the forms you can make. And when you watch, they are real. Why they are real? Because you are not seeing the point. Non-apprehension. Process the wish-apprehension. He says, these various forms, you cannot say have come from the point. Very, very subtle. The various forms that you see, circle, triangle, square, have not emerged from the point. From the Udubati point, they have not come. When you stop the Udubati, they don't enter it. Neither the forms have come from the point, nor they enter into it. So also, this world has neither come from the consciousness, nor do they enter into consciousness. Just like the Udubati in Spandana, in motion appears, consciousness in Spandana, its nature, Spandana, these various appears, devotion in Spandana gives rise to waves and bubbles. It's no creation. It is no creation. The spandana is nature. In spandana, various things appear. To quieten the spandana is samadhi. Right? This is all the next 60 slokas here. Now I will read and run off. विपर्यास यथा जाग्रत जाग्रत अचिंत्यां भूत वत्पुषे तथा स्वप्ने विपर्यासा धर्मास धर्माः तत्र एव पश्यति. Slogan number 41. The meaning of that is, just as in waking world, through false knowledge, you consider the world is real, so also in dream, through false knowledge, you consider while dreaming the dream world is real. Fortunately for us, science also says the same thing. All that we see, they say electron, proton, neutron. And essentially, since they are three, they should have a common source and common state, place. And that is what? Space. Where is space staying? In existence. Because space, if you don't have boundaries, you can't see the space also. You need a container. You need a container. So therefore, space itself, because with reference to the contained, is a perception. That itself is mind. That is why in sleep, when the mind is not there, we don't experience space, time. Because space and time are only our perceptions. We calculate time with reference to the movement of the sun. Somebody closer to the sun, the movement is different. So this calculation won't apply. This calculation won't apply. Right? So, therefore, this world that you see is just a projection of your mind. Electron, proton, neutron, in motion, spandana. At different speed, it appears differently, wood, wall, etc. Material is only electron, proton, neutron. According to the change of speed, it appears to be a different substance. Right? So what you perceive can have a transactional reality, vyavaharika satta, but it's only pratibhasika, and it has another reality, paramarthika. Right? The one electron, proton, neutron, under motion, appears to be different substances, and this electron, proton, neutron appearing in those forms, reflected forms, seem to be different. You see the wave. It's nothing but water or the ocean. Why do you call it a wave? Because you see the form. Is the form created by the mind, or the form created the mind? The form is because of the form, you call it a wave. There is no form at all. It's all water only. It's all water only. You see it and you make a form and you call it a wave. What is it? Your mind. Your mind labeled it as a wave. The wave left an impression in you that it is different from the ocean. And thereafter, the mind only sees a wave. But there is no wave because substantially there is nothing other than water in the wave. Substantially, if it has to be different, there should be something else. Where there is nothing else, it's an illusion, and it's called Maya, it's called mind. Maya, Mithya, mind, they're all same. They're all synonyms. Upalambhat samacharat asti vastuttvadinam jatistu deshita buddhaihi ajate prastam sada. Upalambhat perception, samacharat through transaction, right? The various philosophies have come because the world is seen, there is transactional reality, they have said it, they all ultimately end up in Ajatavada. He has dismissed earlier, mutually against each other. So therefore, they dismiss each other. But the philosophers talk about that only for the explanation of the causality to suit the Mimamsakas. Mimamsakas believe the world is because of the karma phala. The karma phala. They try to establish a relationship between the karma phala and the world, which doesn't stand to logic. Because when you say karma phala, that's an effect. Karma phala is an effect. That's a cause for the world, is an effect. How can an effect be the cause for something else? Itself is an effect, so it should have a cause. But they talk about all these because different people are in different steps of growing. Right? What is mind? Gurudev beautifully says, 3 things you remove from the mind, there won't be mind. Time, space, causality. Time, space, cause-effect relationship. You remove. There is no mind. Without the concept of time, without the concept of space, without the concept of cause and effect, there is no mind. And all these are myth. Therefore, mind has to be myth. Ajate trastam tesham upalambhat viyanti jati dosha na teshyanti dosho alpo bhavishyanti. This ritualists, the Mimamsakas, they are afraid of facing the ultimate truth, Ajatavada, number 1. Number 2, that slowly purifies their mind and takes to the higher realms. Therefore, let them do. And if it's not true, the defects coming of that untruth are negligible. Gaudapada himself is telling they are doing it for the sake of the lower ones as a prop. And since it is untruth, the defects that can come out of them are too little, you can ignore it. Upalambha samachara maya hasti yadochyate. Upalambha samachara asti vastu yadochyate. Upalambha perception, samachara transaction. A magician shows you an elephant, you have seen it, and he can ask you to sit on that and you can ride it. Put the child on that and you can ride it. Upalambha, perception. Samachara, transaction. It's possible. Both are myth. You can't, because of perception and transaction, say something is real. Your dream world also. There is perception, there is transaction, but it's not real. Right? Perception and transaction doesn't give credentials to reality. Jatyabhasam, chalabhasam, vasvabhasam, tataiva ajaha, achalam, avastutvam, vijnanam, shantamadvayam. All these things are because of the mind, restlessness, agitations. Vijnanam in wisdom, shantam, when the mind is peaceful, it's in truth advayam. What seems to be born is not really born. What seems to be movable is really immovable. Several examples we got at the lower level itself, that when you see something through a Atma moving media, that thing seems to be moving. When you see the moon through clouds, the clouds are moving, moon appears to be moving. When you see it in a tree, you think the trees and the posts are moving. When you see things from a moving media, those immovable things seems to be moving. Evam cha jayate chittam, evam dharma ajaha slutaha, evamev vijananto napatanti vipargaye. Thus, all your perceptions are all illusions. When you get this wisdom, you will never fall down to that miserable, helpless state of dependence. Yuju vaktradikam abhasam alata spanditam yatha grahaka abhasam vijnana spanditam tatha. Grahana, grahaka, subject, object. Subject, object, they're all illusions. Abhasa, reflections in the self. How? Ruju, straight. Vaktra, crooked. Of alata. Alata is the firebrand. Either it can be diviti or even a uduvati. Diviti also you can do like this. Uduvati also you can do that. That ruju, that vaktra, the straight, that curvature, they're all they're all movement of the one point. So also the movement in consciousness makes these things appear differently, and as a first step creates the perceiver and perceived, that is the subject and the object. The subject and the object. The whole world, if you boil down, it's a transaction between the subject and the object. It's a relationship between the cause and the effect. It is seen and seer. Seen, seer, object, subject, cause, effect. All these things of one truth happen because of this bandhana, like the firebrand, like the fire. The seer and the seen is nothing but the seer only. The effect is nothing but the cause only. Gurudev's 3 laws of causations. Every effect has a cause. Every effect has a cause. Effect is essentially the cause. Remove the cause from the effect, there is no effect. Gurudev's laws of causation. Alate spandamane vai na abhasa anyato abhuvaha na tato anyatra nispandanat alatam pravishanti. When the alata is moving, the forms have not emerged from somewhere. When it stops, the forms have not entered into it. So the whole thing coming out, entering are all illusions. Are all illusions. Na nirgata alatate dravyatva dravyata abhava yogataha vijnanenapi tadaiva syuhu abhasasya aviseshataha. The forms have not come from the alata because there is no dravya, material, vastu. There is no material, there is no vastu. Similarly, this world is only an abhasa, a reflection. There is no other substance other than the essential existence, consciousness. Vijnane spandamane vai na abhasa anyato bhuvaha nato anyatra nispandan na vijnanam vishantite. It's said earlier said na nirgataste vijnana dravyatva abhava yogataha karya karana abhavat yataha achintyaha tadaiva ye. See, the same thing is repeating. And he here added what I have said, cause and effect. All these things are only abhasas. Abhasa means reflections. Dravyam dravyasya hetu syat anyat anyasya chaivahi. Dravyatva anya bhavo va dharmanam navapadyate. From this material, you can create another material. From this material, a non-substance thought you cannot create. From this material, you can form a thought of that, but this, you can't say this has created in you. Material can only create a material. Non-substance can only create a non-substance. Substance can create a substance. Non-substance can create a non-substance. Essentially, both are illusions. Both are illusions because you are saying this substance created the mind and that created this. Both are in characteristics different. This is vastu, that is avastu. Vastu cannot create a avastu. Avastu cannot create a vastu, dravyam. Evam na chittaja dharmaha, thus they are not even born of the mind. Dharma chittam vapi na dharmajam. Objects are not born out of the mind. Mind is not born out of the objects because both are different. That is vastu, this is avastu. Vastu cannot create avastu. Avastu cannot create a vastu. Evam hetu phala jatim, thus cause and effect. Pratishanti manishanaha. For the man who realizes the supreme truth, there is neither a cause nor an evolution. All these things for us at this stage appear to be too abstract, difficult to digest. You prefer, it's not even necessary. But no, as you evolve, you will discover gradually the truth of these statements. As you evolve, what is evolution? Opposite of involvement. Evolution. You got involved. Coming out of that is called evolution. Now you are involved. Therefore, anybody involved into a situation cannot see the truth. That is why you need a middleman to explain the truth, Madhyastha, because you are possessed with your involved things. An involved man cannot see the truth. Coming out of that, opposite is evolution. Coming out of that is called evolution. So, this Hetu, Phala, cause, effect, they are all by the mind, and hence all the men of wisdom held principle of non-creation, non-evolution. Neither there's a creation nor an evolution, because you are involved and you believe that is false. You are involved with the false. Coming out of the false, right? Because the very effect or cause, whatever it is illusion. Going in, coming out also is an illusion. Going in, coming out also is an illusion. Too much logic. Can we experience? Yes. In sleep, it's happening. Oh, sleep, I don't know. Try to, for a minute, do kumbhaka. That's easy for anybody. If you do kumbhaka, mind gets layam, temporarily absorbed. See what is that state. In that state, there is neither a cause nor effect. If you do kumbhaka, arrest the breath. Mind doesn't function. Mind doesn't function. That state, there is neither a cause nor an effect, nor a subject nor an object, neither a seer nor a seen. That alone is there. That cannot be dismissed, even by kumbhaka. That cannot be dismissed, even by kumbhaka. What can be dismissed is unreal. What cannot be dismissed is real. Yavat hetu phalaveshat tavat hetu phalotbhava chine hetu phalaveshe nastu hetu phalotbhava. As long as you are caught into this mess of cause and effect, you experience that cause and effect, you go on reading several theories of creation. Because you are convinced of the cause effect, you are not able to get out of that. So you go on trying to see the various schools of philosophy. So what is necessary for you, if this has to end, this misery has to end, see the very cause-effect relationship is an illusion. Is an illusion. Yavat hetu phalaveshaha samsara tavadayataha chine hetu phalaveshe samsaram na prapadyate. The whole world that you are experiencing is because of this cause-effect thing. When the cause-effect is not there, world is not there. Is there a state? Samadhi. Is there a state? Sleep. In sleep, you are not seeing the cause-effect. In Samadhi, you don't see the cause-effect. Waking up from sleep, you see the cause-effect. What? Mind. Waking up Samadhi, you see the cause-effect. What? Mind. You understand? So this obsession with cause-effect is that which makes you feel the world is real and the creation is there. Then how can I live in this world? It's a transactional world. Do but see all things are only as much real as in the dream world. Don't get involved into it. Whatever happens, that is why Gita says the highest is phalatyaga. Because you are expecting something to happen because of something. When you do the phalatyaga, there are no expectations, there is no cause effect, there is immediate peace. Depending on something to happen for your peace and security is the very bondage. Accepting whatever happens to me is beautiful because it is given to me by the Lord with His love. Nothing to reject, nothing to hug. Samritya jayate sarvam shashvatam nasti tena vai sadbhavena hi ajam sarva muchedastena nasti. Everything happens because of the illusion, and the illusion explains when you know the truth, none of them are there. Dharma sa iti jayante te na tattvataha. Dharma, the egos, the jivas, they all appear to be born. In reality, they are not born. Wave appears to be born. Wave appears to die. Wave, from the standpoint of water, is neither born nor dead. Janma mayopamam tesham sacha mayana vidyate. This beautiful sentence. There is neither birth nor death. To explain that, you say it is Maya. On enquiry, Maya itself is not there. Maya itself is not there. Wave is born. Wave dies. No, from the standpoint of water or the ocean, wave is neither born nor dies. Then why don't you experience mind? Mind itself is a myth. I explained earlier, you get the mind because you see the form. Form is not real. Therefore, mind is not real. Yatha maya bija jayate tan mayo ankuraha na asau nityo na ta uchchedi tad dharmeshu yojana. Earlier he has given the magician's elephant. Now he gives magic. This all of us have seen. Magician's mango tree. He shows you a seed, puts a basket on that. When he takes the basket, it has become a plant. Again he puts the thing, basket. All Gurudeva explained. It's not my original. Again, put the basket. He removes the basket, you see a fruit. And you cannot say it's mithya because he cuts the fruit and gives to all the people who are staying there. And all of them eat it. First, the seed. He puts a basket, opens up. There's a plant. Next, he puts the basket, opens up. There is a mango. And the mango is cut and to given all. Is this real or unreal? Because you experience, you can't call it unreal. Logically, it is not real. Neither real nor unreal. That is this world. Why? How can you call something to be neither real nor unreal? Because behind the unreal, there is a real. The real not seen becomes the unreal. Sapna pracharan swapne dikshuvai dashashu sthitan andajan svedajan vapi jivan pashyati yan sada swapna chitta drushyaste na vidyante tatada drishyamevadam swapna with chitta mishyate. In dream you see the 10 species because Dasavida creation comes in Bhagavatam. 10 different types of species, Andaja, Swedaja, Budbuja, and all that. They're all nothing but your mind, he says. They're all different species are nothing but your mind. Similarly, the waking also, the differences you see, they're all not different from the mind. Charan Jagarito, Jagar Didichuvaid, Dashasu Titan, Andajan, Svedajan, Vapi, Jivan, Pashyati, Yan Sada, Jagrat Chittaha, Chinaha, Chinayaha, Te, Navidyante, Tatah Pratak. Tata tadvad drishyame jagrat chitta vishyate. In the dream world, you see all the 10, they are not different from the mind. They are not real because on waking up, you don't find them. In waking also, these are all not real. When you wake up to that dimension, you will find they are not real. From the dream, when you wake up, you find they are not real. From this dream, wake up to that reality, you will find they are not real. Understand? Not real. Or how can all you say, I see it as a laptop, you also see it as a laptop. How can you say not real? Because it is there. But as you label it laptop, and laptop is real, no. Laptop has another reality, the material. The material has another reality, electron, proton, neutron. The electron, proton, neutron has another reality, existence. Therefore, what you see, what he sees, what I see are all real. But the truth is, there is another reality behind what all of us see. There is another reality behind everything that is seen. Ubhe hi anyonya drishyete kim tadastiti neshyate lakshana shunyam ubhayam tam matenaiva sukyate. Both the mind and egocentric. You can see I have ego through the mind. And the mind itself is seen by the ego. You see, I have ego. Ego becomes your object. And it is the ego that sees the mind. You understand? Therefore, it's just mutual dependence and no real object, because there cannot be two real objects. When there is duality, it is only a myth. Yatcha yatha swapnamayo jivo jayate mriyate apicha tata jiva abhi sarve bhavanti cha na bhavanti cha. Just as the dream characters are born and die, so these waking characters are also born and die. Yatha maya mayo jivo jayate mriyate cha tata jivo ami sarve bhavanti na bhavanti. As the magician's man is born and dead, not real, so also these beings are born and dead. Yatha nirmitako jivo jayate mriyate va tata jiva ami sarve bhavanti na bhavanti cha. Nirmitaha, constructed. Like any toy, this thing. They also have a beginning and an end. There is no reality about them. न कश्चित् जायते जीवः संभवस्य न विद्यते एतद् उत्तमं सत्यं यत्र किञ्चिन्न जायते. This is a repetition of the whole thing. Nothing is ever born. This is the uttama satyam. Nothing is ever born nor dies. This is the uttama satyam, ultimate truth. We will see next week. We'll finish next week. Purnamada Purnamada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave